Hey, good morning, everybody. It's Mike with smartoptionstrading.com. You can also follow me on Twitter at OptionsMike. Happy Tuesday morning to you guys. It's been a nice long weekend here in the States. We had a 3-day weekend. The markets were closed on Monday, and we're gapping up to all-time highs. We want to talk about a market that just will not quit. So far, this one here is defying gravity and continues to trade higher and higher. Last week, it looked like we were finally in for some corrective action, and here we are at all-time highs on Monday morning. So, while the market might be getting long in the tooth, if you look at a chart of the S&P 500, you can see it's actually still behaving rather well. We're riding this channel. We have an ascending channel here. You can see the top of it. We're bumping into it here this morning pre-market. And really, we have to see how we handle this right now. I'm on guard. This market, you look this from the March lows all the way to where we are now. This market has not want to come in. Since the November start of this run, just before the United States election, you can see this big move in this market and just no signs of quitting. But at some point, this market's going to come in and you need to be on guard for that here. That said, until we get some corrective activity, I remain bullish in this market. And we're going to talk about a couple of bullish plays here today in the market itself. Let's switch gears and look at the VIX here for a second. And the reason I want to show you the VIX is the VIX is at a very big spot. The VIX since last February, when we got that huge spike in volatility like we've never seen before, we hit all-time highs on the VIX. You can see this 20 area has been just a place where it will not break down from. What's interesting going on here this morning is last night on Friday, we closed right at just under that 20 and we're gapping up. So we have a divergence in this market this morning. We have the VIX up and the S&P 500 up. So one's going to be right, one's going to be wrong, right? So we know that. What we need to watch here is the VIX. If the VIX decides to come in hard, it has that gap to fill, and we could see a big time move up in this market. If the VIX decides to hold here, probably we're going to get some chop and some sideways action at the very minimum. So this is something I want to keep my eyes on today and over the rest of this week as we go into the options expiration for the month of February. That said, there are two bullish charts in the queues that I want to keep my eyes on here, and Google is one of them. I've been loving this name since earnings. If you didn't pay attention to their earnings report, they blew out the quarter. They raised guidance for the year, big raise in guidance. And you can see how tight this chart is. It's held that gap. Whenever you see a gap like this where the market holds onto it, that is very, very bullish when it doesn't even go down and test it. And here it is this morning gapping up. And if it takes out this 118 area, it looks like to me it's ready to run. I like this name a lot. I prefer it on a dip, but if this market wants to run, I think this is one that can go. So I'm definitely going to be focusing this week on Google and seeing this one can move to its all-time highs and continue to push out of this nice little base that's built up here, this nice flag. Not to be outdone is Microsoft. What do both these companies have in common, by the way? They both have a very strong cloud architecture that they're building and selling out to there. Google finally broke theirs out last year, even though they took a loss. Big time revenue growth. Microsoft's cloud has been growing leaps and bounds. They got that 10 billion Jedi contract last year. And you can see this had great earnings. This chart sitting here flagging like Google, holding the 8-day, right? You can see how that yellow line came up, that gold line, it hit that, it held that nicely, getting ready to move here. And here it is this morning trading just at all-time highs. I like these two names going forward if this market continues. On a dip, I love these names. But since the market doesn't want to give us a dip right now, we want to keep trading. We're going to look for names that are in play. Google and Microsoft are two of my focus names for this week. Thanks for joining me this morning. This is Mike with smartoptionstrading.com. Have a great week ahead.